right, so this week I will start chapter 9, Chemical Bonding Basic Concepts. Nine point 9.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is not in the course, and then 10 in the last. Nine point 10, bond enthalpy. Okay, so now this is the chemical bond concept I will explain you here. What is actually bond formation? What is bond? What does it mean? How you know about this bond formation? What does it mean by bond? Do you have any idea? Chemical bonding, what does it mean? Please reply immediately. Don't keep your silence.
For me, teacher, bond something is like a relation, a tie, connected. So maybe electrons connecting with two atoms, like
Okay.
in the compounds, like in NaCl. An electron of Na and Cl are one electron from Na and Cl are connecting with each other, making the chemical compound.
All right. So the chemical bond formation, I always explain to you in the last chapters, the bond between metal and non-metal, right? And bond between non-metal, you know these bonds, right? Ionic bond and covalent bond. We will study here these ionic bonds and covalent bonds, how these bonds are formed. Who will play the main role in formation of these bonds? So we have to study here, number one, Lewis dot symbol. Lewis dot symbol is that one in which you have to arrange only valence electron around the metal, okay, valence electron around the metal and non-metal. So you remember that the valence electron is very important electron which take part in a chemical reaction. And the bond formation is only depends on the valence electron. These valence electron react with valence electron from the metal react with the valence electron of the non-metal. Sometimes the non-metal doesn't have the valence electron, they have the empty orbitals. So only the metal provide all the electrons to the non-metal, something like that. So I will explain this one by one. What is the role of valence electron? A valence electron is that electron which is present in the last shell of the element. Okay. Is it clear now? Is it everybody can listen that and it is visible to you?
Yes, doctor, we can say and listen.
All right. Now I will explain this. Valence electron. You have done in the chapter 8 valence electron, and you remember that the core electron and valence electron, you calculate the Z effective nuclear charge on an atom or any element. Well, valence electron is the last orbit contain valence electron, last shell, orbit or shell. is known as valence electron. Example, suppose I will take carbon 6 atomic number. We will write here 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. This is the last shell, 2, 2. This is the first shell. This is core electron, this is valence electron. Valence electron, in the last shell we have 4 valence electron. That's why we write this 4 valence electron, we arrange these around the carbon atom. These 4 valence electron arranged like this. They have the maximum distance away from each other, just to reduce the interaction between 2 electrons. This I will come later on. I will start from hydrogen. Hydrogen have 1 proton, 1 electron, right? Hydrogen, 1 electron. So we can write here hydrogen, 1 electron like this. This is valence electron. Then after that we have lithium or helium. Helium, there are 2 atomic number, 2 proton, right? We can write here like this, helium 2 electron. Actually these 2 electron I will not show like this. It's better to show in another way, helium 1 electron here, 1 electron here, like this, away from each other, apart. Now lithium 3, 1s2, 2s1, right? So only in the second last orbit, second shell, it contains only 1 electron. So lithium, I will write here only 1 electron, the first group. The valence electron, always you can decide on the basis of the group. As I told you in the beginning, the charge also depends on the group, oxidation number depends on the group, and valence electron also depends on the group. Group 1, 1 valence electron in the last. Group 2, 2 valence electron in the last. Group 3, 3 valence electron in the last. Group 4, 4, 5, like this. After 4, the valence electron always, this also change. Let me complete here. Lithium, beryllium 2, lithium 3, beryllium 4, boron 5, third group 3 electron, carbon is 6, fourth last in the orbit 4 electron, nitrogen is 7, 5 electron, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the pairing start here. And oxygen is 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these are the last, because 6 group, 6 valence electron, 5 group, 5 valence electron, fourth group 4 valence electron, 3 group 3 valence electron, 2 group 2 valence electron, and 1 group 1 valence electron. Is this clear to you? Any
Yes.
question now? Please ask me. Any
Can you
question?
just
How?
can you just repeat it for me? I said some point of it. Point.
Okay. These depends, you know, the valence electron, how to write the Lewis dot formula. This is called Lewis dot symbol, right? Lewis dot symbol. These are the dot. Dot means electron. So how to write the Lewis dot symbol of any atom, either metal or non-metal. So this will based on valence electron, only valence electron. Group 1, 1 valence electron. Group 2, 2 valence electron. Group 3, 3. Group 4, 4. Group 5, 5. Group 6, 6. Okay? Is it clear?
No, it's clear. Thank you, teacher.
All right. So now this is all about the electron dot symbol.
Doctor,
Yes.
is there a specific way to arrange the dots or
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I will show again.
okay.
Suppose you want carbon. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, right? This is your valence electron. Valence shell, valence electron 4. So you have to write this 4 electron 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like this. If you have 5 electrons, so 5 nitrogen, 5 group. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 you put here, the paired. So that's why this is the 5 electron it has. This is the 5th group. To complete the octet, if they will make a bond, with a metal, they require only 3 electrons to be bonded because 3 electrons are unbonded here. Alright? So you will take, suppose, sodium nitrite. Okay? Sodium nitrite. Okay? Nitrite. Na3N. Now 3 sodium and 1 nitrite. Like this. Because sodium has 1 electron and nitrogen has 3 electrons. So sodium, the 3 sodium will take part like this, 1 sodium, this, like this. That's why this is getting 1 plus and this will get 3 minus. Because they receive 3 electrons to complete the bond. Right? They will make a bond like this. So you can write here 3Na plus and 1 nitrogen 3 minus, right? So now the charge will be balanced, 3 plus and 3 minus, that is 0, as I told you in the beginning. Is it clear now how to make the bonds?
Here.
Now
Thank you.
I will write the calcium, second group. So it has 2 electrons away from each other. We can write like this. And they will make a bond, so we can also write like that, doesn't matter, no problem at all. Okay. Now calcium sulfide. Now sulfide is oxygen group, 6 group. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now these two cannot make bond. Only these two unpaired electrons, they will make a bond with calcium. So now these two, they will make bond with this. 2 electron will make a bond with these two. Now calcium sulfide are formed.
Okay,
So,
teacher. But
yeah.
I can put the point any place I want.
Yeah, you can put here. You suppose this is here. So you can here, suppose you have sulfide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So this will
Yes.
make a bond with the only isolated electron. This will make a bond with only isolated electron. You can show like this.
Just 2 points, yeah.
Yeah, because they will make a bond, right?
Yes.
Because the charge on both the second group, so it has a 2 plus charge and sulfur also minus 2 charge, right? So this we never write here this 1 and 1. So 1 never write. You remember?
Yes.
Right. Now this is, sorry, calcium sulfide. This becomes 0.
Yes.
Okay, clear now? Can we move ahead?
Yes, yes. Move.
This is all about the Lewis structure. The valence electrons are taking part in the bond formation. They are very important, right? They have an important role. How? They will make a bond between metal and non-metal, or non-metal, doesn't matter, between two atoms. only valence. So this is all electronic configuration here. Electronic configuration, see, ns first, ns1, so number 1 electron, 2 electron, 3 electron, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. When you write down electronic configuration, this is a general configuration n. N means principal quantum number. And the group is a third group, so it means it has only 3 electrons. Fourth group, 4 electrons. Five group, 5 electrons. Is it clear to you? The valence electron based on the group. You have to show that symbol of the valence electron around the metal or non-metal according to the group. So if you forget, suppose you don't know that, okay, how many electrons we can put around this, immediately open the periodic table, go to the group and check this atom or this element belongs to which group. Oh, you can find out, oh yeah, I got it, this is suppose group 4. That means that only 4 electron or 4 dot you have to show around the atom. Clear? Any question now?
It's clear.
See, this is the way, right? This is, look here, this is very important slide. This we have to arrange in such a way that the interaction will be less between the electron. But you have to show that sometime the pairing start. Pairing start from group 5th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Now pairing start, group 1 pair, then 2 pair, then 3 pair, then all 4 pairs. It's group charge, 5th group, it receives 3 electron to complete, so -3, -2, and -4 here carbon, -4, -3, -2, -1, and then 0. Valencies also depends on how many electron it received to complete their octet, 8 electron. So start from carbon, up to carbon is plus valency, after carbon minus start, -4, -3, -2, -1, -0. It means how many electron it received. This one receive carbon 4 electrons, so this -4. This receive -3 electron. This receive -2 electron. This receive -1 electron, and here is 0 electron. So these are the valencies or oxidation state of all these groups. It depends on, but here is up to here the +4 and -4 both carbon, +3, +2, and +1. So this is very important, sir. Please note down this. Ionic bond. How the ionic bonds are formed? As I explained in the beginning, the ionic bonds are formed between metal and non-metal. Pure metal or the transition metals, they also can make bond between with non-metal. And all non-metals are from right side in the periodic table. Yeah. So generally the non-metals we will get here, they will make a bond with the metal here, from here to here, the blue color. All right, these are the pure non-metal. These are the pure metal, and this one is metal but transition metal. Remember this, the non-metal react with the pure metal, they will give you ionic bond. Ionic bond between metal and non-metal. Example, I will take metal sodium chloride NaCl, right? This is an example, simple example. Cl is non-metal, sodium is metal. Both has +1 and -1, so there is no charge in the subscript. No subscript because both have 1 plus 1 minus charge. I will make this also here. I also put here in this one. So after that, we have this compound here, and this I will show you. Here you can take picture. I will also put this page. I will also put into on the blackboard. You can see here. Okay, look at here, aluminum oxide. This is what happened.
Doctor,
1 minute, 1 minute. Yes, go ahead.
maybe you can copy the page from Word and paste it on one of the slides. PowerPoint.
This one, this is Word file. This is only one page. You want this page should be on the slides?
No problem. But okay, I already explained.
I will explain 1 minute. Let me check if it is. 1 minute. I'm just putting all these example on the slides. Okay, now I just put it on all these examples here. Okay, now aluminum oxide. Is this slide is visible to you?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
All right. So now look at aluminum, Al2O3. So it means there is a 2 aluminum and 3 oxygen, right? So you have to arrange these aluminum and oxygen first like this. Then you have to put according to the valence electron according to the group. Aluminum has 3 electron because it is third group. So 3 electron you can put like this. And oxygen has 6 electron because it belongs to the 6th group. So to complete their octet, it requires 2 electrons. So it will take 2 electrons from this aluminum. Number 1 aluminum, right? Number 1 aluminum, number 2 aluminum, right? And this 1 electron which is extra in aluminum, they will participate into this oxygen, second oxygen. 1 oxygen, 2 oxygen, 3 oxygen. And 1 electron participated from the second aluminum to give these 2 electrons to the second oxygen. And now the third oxygen, it requires 2 electrons. So whatever 2 electrons are left on the second aluminum, those transfer to the oxygen third. So in this way, these are the bond formation here. This you will write in this way. 3 plus because 3 electron loss, and how many aluminum? 2 aluminum. 3 oxygen, but 2 electrons they gain. That's why 2 minus created. Now this become octet is complete. Octet means octet means 8 electron complete. So you can write here in this way 2Al 3 plus and 3O minus. So this is the way, but this is very important. This you have to show whenever the question is there. Then the last, how you will receive and how you will gain and how you will leave, how you will give, how many electron you give. So giving means less charge, receiving means negative charge. So according to the electron, you decide the charge on each atom. How many electron you lost? 3 electrons, 3 plus charge. How many electron it gained? 2 electrons, so 2 minus charge. But how many atoms? 2 atom aluminum and 3 atoms oxygen. Any point which is not clear, please ask me now. How to make a bonds between metal and non-metal if they have different valence electron. If they have same valence electron, that is very easy. This calcium oxide, look at here. It has 2 electrons here, 1 here and 1 here. 2 electrons, but it has 2 electrons also extra. These 2 electrons unpaired. They will make 1 electron to 1 electron of oxygen and 1 electron of calcium and 1 electron of oxygen. They will make a bond. So in this way, this calcium oxide are formed. Okay. So you have to write 2 plus and 2 minus. Next one is example, we have aluminum bromide and magnesium nitride. Now only one aluminum, 3 electron outside valence electron. 3. They have the valence electron. The valence electron in the bromine, this is a 7 group. 7 group. And it receive 1 electron. So this is minus 1 is the charge. So 7 and they receive 1 electron become 8. Octet is complete. That's why, so one only, see, look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So 3 are the bonded pair and 1 is non-bonded. So only the 1 electron can make a bond with other metal 1 electron. They cannot bond with other 2, right? Aluminum, 1, 2, 3. Nitride, no, bromide, bromide, right? Now 3 bromide. So now you will write the valence, the Lewis dot symbol of, you can write here. You start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? These 3 are bonded and 1 is non-bonded. This is non-bonded. And this one and this one are bonded, bond pair, right? So only, now tell me the question now, which electron take part in the bond formation? Tell me now.
The non-bonded.
Pardon?
The non-bonded will make a bond with aluminum.
With 1 electron.
Yeah, only 1 electron, because that will
Yes.
take part. Okay, so now this one only 1 electron, they receive it. They receive 1 electron from aluminum. Okay, where I put it?
The corner.
This one last, right? This 1 electron, this one electron is here, extra electron, unbonded electron. They will make this one here, 1 electron, 1 electron and 1 electron. In this way, you will take electron. How many? 3 electron is gone. So this will take 3 plus charge. And how many electron it receive? 1 minus, right? So you can write here Br, but how many Br we have? 3. And you will take 1 minus. So now minus 1 and plus 1, right? Plus 3 and minus 1. So this is minus 3 and plus 3. And both, if you write down here, 3 plus and minus 3, that always 0. As I told you, all the charges on metal and non-metal, these charges will become 0. Yes, any question please?
Sir, we have got the point
What point?
in the box. We have to put point.
You are talking about bromine electron or aluminum electron?
No, bromine.
So bromine only, yeah, this is 2 to 4 and now 2 electron you put it here. I did not complete, you will complete yourself because the bromine is in the 7th group, right? You have to
Yes.
show 7 electrons. So 1, 2, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Yes, what's your question now?
I know, but the last one, 3
Okay.
bromine. In the box bromine, I have to
Okay.
put the point from the bromine.
Seven. So this electron only take part in a chemical reaction.
The last reaction, the last thing. Al plus 3 bromine minus 1 equals
Yeah,
0.
because minus 1 means it receive 1 electron. That's why I got minus 1.
I know everything, but I mean in the box, not the box.
This is box here. Bromine is in the box. How many
Yeah.
bromine? 3.
Yeah, here I have to put the point or not. I put it like this. Empty.
Oh, it means that, okay, you are right. You are right. You mean this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, now the third example is magnesium nitride. So this I already written here. So you can do yourself, but I already solved it. So now ionic compound is finished now. The second one is covalent bond. Ionic bond and covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed between non-metal and non-metal. This is a specific covalent bonds between non-metal and non-metal. Is a chemical bond in which 2 or more electrons are shared by 2 atoms, non-metal. Why should 2 atoms share electrons to complete their octet? This is the question now. Why they always sharing? Because they want to complete their octet. They are not stable. If they complete their octet, that will be more stable, right? So now the fluorine, these are non-metal. Both have incomplete octet. It has 1 electron in the valence shell, 7 electrons, so 1 electron is unpaired, right? 1 electron is unpaired. Like this one, this is unpaired electron, right? This is unpaired electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will show you here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? One is unpaired. This one is unpaired. These three will not take part. Will not take part in a chemical reaction. Will not take part. Which one will be taking part in a chemical reaction, in a bond formation?
The unpaired electron.
Yes, which is unbonded electron. This electron will take part. Only unpaired. Unpaired electron will take part in chemical reaction. This is short form, RXN, reaction. So this is the kind of, right? So now the one electron of this and one electron of this, they combine. So these two electrons. And always single bond is formed between two electrons. And double bond is formed between 4 electrons. Triple bond is formed between 6 electrons. 3 from other, 3 from others. Total is 6. 2 electron, 4 electron, and 6 electron. Now this, the fluorine, because it has only one electron, it cannot make 2 electron or 3, it cannot make 2 bonds or 3 bonds. Remember that. So the question will be asked, fluorine or nitrogen or oxygen, which can form double bond or triple bond or single bond. So you should know this idea from the group. If it has one electron, it means the 7th group, one valence electron is there, so it will only and only make single bond. If oxygen, 6th group, so how many electrons it required to complete their octet? 2 electrons, right? So oxygen will make double bond because 2 electron and 2 electron it receive. So oxygen, they will make a double bond. Nitrogen has 3 bonds, so nitrogen can make single bond, double bond, and triple bond. And oxygen also, it will make a single bond and double bond, right? So this will be like that. I will show some example. This is for simple fluorine. Lone pair of electrons are there. This is bonded electron. These are bonded electron. And this one is a bond formation because these 2 electrons are here. One electron from here, one electron from other oxygen. Alright, now second I will take hydrogen and oxygen because hydrogen has one valence electron, oxygen has 6 valence electron. But out of 6, how many electrons are bonded, how many electrons are non-bonded? So it depends on the group. Go through the group and check which group it belongs. It belongs to the 6th group. So how many electrons is required to complete their octet? Octet means 8. How many electrons required?
2.
2 electrons. It means it has only 2 electrons left. I will write here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Only 2 electrons which is unbonded. 2 electrons are bonded here, bonded pair. This cannot make any bond with others. This is already bonded. Only this take part with any reaction with any others. So hydrogen. So hydrogen has one electron. Second hydrogen has one electron. So they will make bond with this like this. Okay. That's why this oxygen is here. So oxygen, this one bond of hydrogen and another bond is hydrogen. And these 4 electrons are bonded electron. We can show like this. Is it clear how you will write the electronic configuration or bond formation of water? Now this is single bonds are formed because single electron take part in a chemical reaction. Okay. Now double bond. how double bonds are formed. In the case of oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon and oxygen. You know that oxygen, this is 2 electron, 2 electron and 2 electron, they are bonded. All right, 6 electron. Out of this 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And carbon has 4 electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth electron. Because this is 4 electrons means 4 group. It is 6 electron. It is a 6 electron. This is okay. Now oxygen I will write here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, right? So only these 2 electrons are non-bonded. Right? These 2 electrons are shared with the 2 electron of the carbon. So in this way, total is 2 and 2, 4. Now this look here. With 1 carbon and oxygen, you will get double bond like this, and 2 electrons are here for this, and now this is the 4 electrons are here. So 4 plus 4 is 8 electron, right? For oxygen is complete, but carbon is
Not complete yet.
not complete. So this structure is wrong. It should complete. Okay, so what we do?
We have to put another oxygen.
No, another oxygen I will put later, but they can make triple bond. Okay, I will show this one later on. All right, now look at here, carbon in the middle, 2 electrons here and 2 electrons are here because of this fourth group, 4 electrons you can show. Oxygen, 2 electrons are here and 2 electrons are here and 2 electrons here, 6. These are non-bonded, right? I will show non-bonded electron with blue color. Okay. So this carbon, now another oxygen we have here. This is 4 and this is 2 electron for oxygen, and this is the make a bond here, so become 4 electrons. This also make bond here, this 4 electron. Then you will see here, you will get like this. Any question here, please? Carbon dioxide, how to write?
No.
Is clear to you? Because all bond formation depends on valence electron and valence electron based on group, as I told you. If you don't understand periodic table, you cannot write any answer properly. So you must follow the periodic clarification. You should memorize periodic table. Memorize not only elements and memorize the properties. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, how many charge, 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then minus 4 plus 4, then minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, then 0. So these charge you can easily memorize according to the group. And the third example is carbon dioxide. You will get double bond, you will get it. The third example is nitrogen oil, right? So nitrogen, you see here. Nitrogen belongs to which group?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen belongs to which group?
Fifth group.
Group 5.
Nitrogen group 5, yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Only these 3 electrons are free to make a bond. Another nitrogen, we have 1, 2, 3 to make a bond, and these 2 cannot make bond. These 2 electrons cannot make a bond. Alright? Now this will make this will make bond with this will make bond with this. The triple bonds are formed. Or you can write like this, right? This triple bond. These are 1, 2, 3. Write like this, or you will make triple bond, right?
Yes.
So this is the way how to write the bond between non-metal and between metal and non-metal. These are the covalent bond that I already explained, that is ionic bond. Any question now? You can ask me.
It's clear.
Other student, please. Anybody from other side? Hello, I want to listen your voice, please. 30 students, they are sitting there and I am just listening only one voice.
Teacher, it's clear.
All good.
Sir,
Yes, go ahead.
for the example of carbon oxide, said at the beginning we will
Yeah,
make
carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is example of carbon monoxide. It has 3 double bond, right? So 3 3 6 plus 2 8 3 3 6 3 3 6 plus 2 8, right? The total octet you will get it. This is carbon monoxide. You remember that? Carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So carbon monoxide, they have the triple bond. Because the carbon has 4 valence electron, so carbon can make single bond, carbon can make double bond, carbon can make triple bond, carbon can make 4 bond like this. So depends on the how many electron it has. Yes.
Become more and more, it will be harder to separate them or what?
Yes, more stronger. Single bond is less stronger than double bond than triple bond. Triple bond is more stronger, so more energy required to break down. Clear? Now, non-polar and polar, and now this is the polar covalent bond. In the covalent bond between same atom. Polar covalent bond between same non-metal, between different non-metal. Okay? You understand non-metal? Nm means non-metal. So here an example we have, simple example, hydrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, oxygen, nitrogen, nitrogen, same. But here we have example, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, okay, fluorine, hydrogen. These are different, but they are non-metal. All are non-metal, but they are different, right? So different non-metals, so they are called polar covalent bond because of they have the partially positive and partially negative charge. Generally, the covalent bond, they don't have any charge. They don't have any charge. But these they have partial positive or negative charge. Partially for the temporary. Partially means temporary. It will finish after some time. The difference you understand what is pure covalent bond and what is only covalent bond. Polar covalent bond is a covalent bond between greater electron density around one of the two atoms. Now this is, look at the picture. Fluorine, because it has high electronegativity. So it has more electrons, right? Because of more electron, high electronegativity. It has less electron and electron is poor, less electron and low electronegativity. Means positive. It means positive. This means negative. Fluorine has the more, see the wide range. How many more electron, and the shape is a little bit more than hydrogen. This is the polarity, and the polarity means this is more electronegative. Now this will attract electron like this. Because this is more electronegative, so it attracts electron from hydrogen. This attracting power, this I will explain in electronegativity when I discuss, not now. This I'm just explaining you. It has, because negative charge, so it has a power to attract electron. That is known as electronegativity, which I explain later on, not now. So the polar covalent bond are the bond which has little bit negative charge or polarity is high as compared to other non-metal which has less polar. Means less number of, this is temporary positive and temporary negative, means partial. Partial means temporary. Partial positive, partial negative. But this is non-metal, right? But different and same. But ionic compound, they have metal and non-metal, they have complete plus and minus charge. These are not temporary. These are not partially. The non-metal and metal, that is ionic compound, they have the fully positive and fully negative charge. This is the difference between ionic compound and polar compound or polar bond. So this is the difference. Any point which is not clear, please ask me now.
Doctor,
Yeah.
the example that we did for carbon dioxide is polar covalent, right?
Actually, that is not polar. Why it is non-polar, I told you here. There are many factors here, although it is oxygen and carbon, right? This one, carbon monoxide, is a polar, you can write. Because this only oxygen attract electron, right?
Yes.
1 minute. And this is carbon dioxide. The oxygen attract by oxygen electron here and oxygen attract electron here. So the dipole moment is 0. In this molecule like this, both oxygen attract electron from the carbon, they make the dipole moment 0. The force is 0, negligible. That's why it is non-polar, not the polar molecule. Clear?
Yes.
This is polar. This one is polar because only one side. This is non-polar. the electronegativity. It is now next one is electronegativity. As I explained just like previous slide, electronegativity, it is the ability of an atom to attract electron towards itself in a chemical bond. So that's as I told you here. Look at in this picture, right? The electron attracted by this fluorine. This is hydrogen. This will get positive charge and this will get negative charge. So this is the power. This is the power of attracting electron. That is known as electronegativity. This, look at here. This is the electronegativity is I should actually electron affinity also I have written here, but electron affinity I can put different. You will not, don't worry, you don't confuse. I will. Oh. Good idea. So how we arrange this? All right.
It's good.
Huh?
I said like this is good.
Okay. Anyway, so let me finish electronegativity, then I will explain electron affinity. Electronegativity, as I explained you, it is the attracting power of non-metal which has negatively charged, which has attracting power high. So it attracts electron from metal or from non-metal, doesn't matter. Suppose NaC, this is NaC, right? Example, it is negative, electronegativity. So it attracts electron from sodium. That's why sodium will get positive charge. That is because of its electronegativity is very high of chlorine. Chlorine is 3.5 and fluorine is 4 electronegativity. And the hydrogen electronegativity is 2.1. So of course it is high, right? It is less and fluorine is high. So it can attract electron easily from hydrogen. It's not, hydrogen cannot get electron from non-metal, means high electronegativity. So electronegativity increase from left to right. Electronegativity increase from left to right. So because this fluorine minus partially negative and hydrogen partially positive, fluorine has partially negative and charge, negative charge, and hydrogen has partially positive charge. So they will make a bond, that is after making a bond, that is the charge is partially, you can write if it is the polar covalent bond. If you have non-polar, simple, not polar, so simple nitrogen, nitrogen, no charge, don't write charge. Oxygen, oxygen, don't write charge. It is like this. Only the partial charge you can write here. So now this is partially positive charge and this is partially negative charge. This is the delta is a partial. Delta means partial. The sign for delta is partial. This is partial. Temporary. Right? Is it clear to you? I will not write here, otherwise you will confuse. Partial. Any question about the electronegativity? A question may be asked, okay, define electronegativity. So how you define? Define means to have to write definition of electronegativity. So how you will define? Tell me now.
So we can
In
define it
from the atom.
Yeah, it is the ability to attract electron from other non-metal to itself, right? Towards itself. Okay. It is the ability to attract electron towards itself. Is it clear now? Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
that means there is no electronegativity at noble gas, right?
Noble gas is because it's zero, right? Zero charge.
Yeah.
So there is a no attracting power, zero atom charge and zero electronegativity. That's why it will not react with any other things. It is inert. We call it inert, non-reactive. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, this I already explained before. Non-metal, pure non-metal, pure metal, and transition metals. These are the table we have. This is very good table. And this will help you a lot to identify if different atoms are giving in the question, and we will ask you, okay, how you identify which one is polar, which one is non-polar, which one is ionic. So this slide you will not find in the book. And this slide it will help you a lot to identify which one is polar, non-polar, which one is covalent and polar covalent and ionic. So these things you have to little bit memorize the values, then you identify. Start from covalent bond. Look at here. Start from covalent bond. The value of the electronegativity difference. Look at this one. These are electronegativity difference between elements. So suppose two values, the different values are giving in the question, and hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, metal and non-metal all are giving. So the values of all metal, non-metals are giving. Then you will make difference of these, you just count it and make difference of these two, and that difference you tally here. Okay, now if the difference of the electronegativity between 0 to 0.5, right, or equal or greater than 0 or less than 0.5 or 0.5, okay, equal or less than 0.5, equal or less than 0.5. So that is covalent bond. Okay. Now hydrogen, how we get it? So hydrogen is 2.1. Second hydrogen is also 2.1, right? So 2.1 minus 2.1 is equal to 0. You can see, sir, this is what? Covalent bond. covalent bond, right? Now nitrogen, look at, I will tell you first the values. Values are here. Okay, now I will take value of lithium and fluorine, right? Fluorine is 4, lithium is 1. Lithium is 1 and fluorine is 4.0, right? So difference is 4 minus 1 equal to, that is 3, right? And now look at 3. Where is the 3? Look at the covalent from equal or 0 or less than or equal to 5.5, that is covalent. And if you are getting between 0.5 to 1.9, that is polar covalent. And if it is, you have 2 to 3.3 or more, that is ionic compound. Okay, so now this is 3 or more, this bond is ionic bond. Polar covalent bond. Polar covalent bond. Polar covalent bond, hydrogen is 2.1, chlorine is 3.5. So 3.5 minus 2.1, you will get 1.4, right? So 1.4 is, just look at here where it falls down, where it is meet. Is it ionic, covalent, or polar covalent?
Polar equivalent.
Because the polar covalent value is from 0.5 to 1.9.
Doctor, for covalent, shouldn't it be 0 to 0.4?
Yeah, 0 to 0.5. Yeah, less than 0.5. 0.49.
Okay.
So this type of calculation, always the big value minus a small value, remember that. What is the difference you get, then you should carry out that difference you meet with whatever you memorize for covalent. Is it fall down in the covalent or polar covalent or ionic? And sometimes no need to calculate. If you know that the metal and non-metal, they are ionic. Non-metal, pure same atom, they are covalent. If different metal, different non-metal, they are polar covalent. So that is a simple method to identify whether covalent, polar covalent, and ionic. Or by getting the difference of electronegativity, you can decide. These values you should memorize. It's not tough to memorize, it is easy. Then you can write down. Look at in the top here. See the charge, how we mentioned that. This is pure complete plus and minus. Here is partial positive and partial negative. Here is no charge because of covalent, right? This is full, no partial, full charge. Oxygen is 3.5, chlorine is 3. Yeah, I mentioned wrong. No problem. Chlorine is 3. Now you will get one. Okay, so this also coming here. Oxygen is 3.5 and this 3.5. So this minus 3.5, you will get 0. This is covalent. Any question now? Electronegativity difference and how to identify covalent, polar covalent, and ionic. Any question now? You have to do some practice at home. Okay. Look at this one. How to identify? Okay, just go through this slide. Then you this all electronegativity values, and then you calculate here. And without calculation, this is, tell me now, without calculation, electronegativity without calculation. Which one is covalent and polar covalent? Please tell me now.
A is ionic.
Wallahi, you don't
Still,
understand all things. You don't understand. This you are telling me ionic. What is the condition of ionic? Tell me now. What is the definition of ionic?
Sorry, it's polar covalent.
Yeah, please.
teacher,
You
teacher,
said that
sorry.
before I
It's clear.
said that. What you are telling to the teacher?
Sorry, teacher. I was answering, but I was mute. Cl is polar because it's not non-metals.
Polar.
The Kf is a ionic compound because it has K, I believe it's potassium and fluor, ionic. And Cc is this carbon is like carbon is I don't know actually. It's not. I don't believe it's a polar covalent. The last one.
What is the definition of polar covalent? Tell me now.
Two or more pure non-metals are forming a compound.
No, this is not the definition of polar covalent
it
bond.
has a partial charge.
No, tell me the first definition. I told you polar, covalent, and covalent. What is the major difference? I already written there very clearly, but you did not tell me now.
Polar is different non-metals.
Yeah, different non-metals that are same non-metal that is covalent. This is the different or same? Look at it, carbon carbon.
Same.
What is this? Polar or covalent?
Covalent.
Equivalent.
Please memorize the things, you know. If you will not, okay. How much time left?
Around 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is very, very important, 9.6 and 9.10. Okay, so I will start 9.6 and I will finish this next class, this and 9.10. Be careful and write a note. Write a note on your notebook. This is how to write the Lewis structure of the molecule, of the compound. And there are some rules, some points, and this is, see, if you understand now, you can easily identify, you can easily write the Lewis structure. Is very easy. It's not a tough, but you have to follow the rules. Draw the skeleton structure of the compound showing what atoms are bonded to each other and put at least, yeah. I will explain, don't worry. Count the total number of valence electron, complete the octet for all the atoms. If the structure contains too many electrons, form double bond and triple bonds for the central atom as needed. Okay. The rule is that suppose I will take an example and with NF3, right? I will, because you understand from example, and I will follow this. NH3 I will take. NF3 you will do. NH3 I will take example. So this Lewis structure number 1 based on valence electron. Valence electron of both atoms. So valence electron of nitrogen is how much? Tell me now, how many valence electron on nitrogen?
So 5
I believe it's
Valence electron, my friend, I'm not asking the charge. And you also tell me wrong charge.
Five.
How to identify the valence electron? What I explain you in the class now.
It depends on the group.
5
Group. Which group it belongs?
First group.
Group. Nitrogen, which group it belongs?
group 5.
Group 5. So how many valence electron?
5 electrons.
3. No?
5. Valence electron of nitrogen 5. And valence electron of hydrogen is how many?
1.
One.
Only 1. Now total is 6. Now total valence electron is equal to 6. So these 6 electrons you have to write, you have to distribute into the skeleton. Now start from the first point, number 1 point. And now second point is first point. First you find out valence electron, total valence electron, how many this compound has. This ammonia. So now second one is draw the skeleton structure of the compound showing what atoms are bonded to each other and put at least electronegative element. Okay, the least electronegative element you have to put into the center. So look at here, the least electronegative element is hydrogen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
1 minute, I will, this is very important point now. Least electronegative element is the central atom. But here is hydrogen, right? So the point is hydrogen never be a central atom. Remember that. Write down the note.
Just the hydrogen.
Only hydrogen. This never
Okay.
be a central atom. Just note down this point, please. Never be a central atom. But other elements, other atoms, other than hydrogen, whatever you have, you should know that which has high electronegative, which has low electronegative. And if you don't know the values, just go through periodic table, and as I told you, electronegativity increase from left to right and decrease from top to bottom. On that basis, you can decide which one has less and which one has more electronegative. Is this concept clear? Without giving the electronegativity values, how to identify which one has less, which one has more electronegative?
Yes.
Yes.
From
So tell me now, which one has less electronegative, which one has more electronegative?
hydrogen less
Yeah.
and fluor more.
From left to right, electronegativity increase. You can take any one. Chlorine is on the right side, has high electronegativity. Oxygen on the left hand side is less electronegative. So any atom which is on the right side, that is more. Any atom which is on the left, that is, suppose I will take an example here, carbon nitrogen, nitrogen fluorine, right? And carbon, phosphorus, and fluorine, chlorine. Tell me now, which one will be the central? Suppose, which one will be the, we put the central atom in the first case?
The carbon because it's least.
Yeah, because less, right? So carbon will be your center and other atom will be around the carbon. Okay, good. NF,
Nitrogen and
nitrogen will be central atom. Carbon, phosphorus,
phosphor.
because they increase from top to bottom, right? So bottom is less, top is more. So phosphorus will be your central atom. Fluorine, chlorine. So fluorine is your central atom. It will be like this. Okay.
Fluorine or chlorine?
No. Fluorine,
Fluorine.
not fluorine. Okay. So now you first you decide how many valence electron, first point. Second point, you decide which one will be central atom. So I will write here, the central atom is what? So in this
Here,
case,
nitrogen.
nitrogen is a central atom. Okay, I will put nitrogen here. And then after that, the third point is draw the skeleton. Okay, what is the skeleton structure? Skeleton structure is the structure which doesn't have the which doesn't have the flesh on the body. If you go to the clinic, you will see the structure of the whole body of the human body, right? That is skeleton structure without flesh. Only the bones are there. Clear? Okay, now do you see this skeleton?
Yes.
Now, is there any flesh here? Nothing, right? All bones. You know flesh? What is flesh?
Meat.
اصل
Yeah, meat.
تعتبر human.
Meat and flesh or meat or muscles, right? Nothing is there. So this is all we call it skeleton. Human body skeleton, right? Okay. So now I will put without bond. Bond means flesh. Bond means meat. So I will not write meat here. I will not write the bond here. I will put just skeleton. How many hydrogen we have? 3. So I will put 3 hydrogen according, as I told you, according to their nitrogen means you can put the other atom apart from each other. We cannot put like this. We cannot put like this. We cannot put like this. You have to arrange these 3 atoms around the central atom in such a way that the interaction between these atoms will be less. right? This is only the way. You cannot put like this. You cannot put like this. You cannot put like this. Okay? Remember that. So skeleton. This is skeleton. Now, third point. This is according to this third point. Now, fourth point is count the total number of valence electron and add one plus for each negative. Okay. Here there is no negative charge, no positive charge. That's another example I will give you, not now. If you have negative charge, then you will add one electron into the valence electron. If you have positive charge, you have not add, you subtract. You subtract electron. That is this example I will later on I will show you. This is without charge, without plus, without minus. Complete the octet, an octet for all the atom except hydrogen, right? Now, we have how many electrons? We have total 6 electrons. So 6 electrons, so the fourth one is, I will make a bond here and bond here. How many electrons we use in the bond? 2 electron, right? 2 electron, 2 electron, 2 electron, 2 electron. Total is 6 electron. Correct? Now the 6 electron we have just put between the hydrogen and nitrogen. There is no extra electron left. If any extra electron left, then we can put on the nitrogen here. If extra electron remaining, then put on central atom. But there is no extra electron left here. Only total 6 electron. These 6 electron we distribute in between hydrogen and nitrogen. So now this is nothing is left. So this is your Lewis structure. Complete an octet because all octet is complete. Look at here. 2 to 4 to 6. But nitrogen octet is not complete here because total electron is one mistake I am doing here is multiply by 3. Why multiply by 3 here? Hydrogen. Tell me now.
Because we have 3 hydrogens.
Because I mistake this. I missed that. Because there are 3 hydrogen. So multiply by 3. So that's why this is 3 plus this is total will be 8. 8 electrons. So now 8 electrons. 6 electron is complete here, and this the 2 electron left, as I told you. So now 2 electron left. That 2 electron left put on nitrogen, central atom. Now these 2 electrons you put it here. Now this total is nitrogen total is 8 electron, and because hydrogen doesn't have octet, as I told you in the class in the chapter, hydrogen is dewed electron. Hydrogen is dewed electron. Dewed means 2 electrons. So it has only 2 electrons. We call it dewed. It should not have 8 electrons. Remember that. So this is all about NH3. So now this only 4 steps to complete these electrons. The last one you have to count around the central atom or hydrogen atom, whether it is complete octet or not. If it is octet is complete, it means that Lewis structure is correct. If octet is not complete, it means the Lewis structure is wrong. So what point you understand, please tell me now. Which point which is not clear? Number 1, again I repeat. The first point is you have to count the valence electron of both atoms and multiply by number of atoms, whatever you have in the structure. Total valence electron you get it. Second thing, you decide which one is central atom. The central atom will be based on electronegativity. The least electronegative atom will be your central atom. Third point is you have to write skeleton system, skeleton structure. In skeleton structure, don't write bonds. Just you have to write central atom first, and then you see how many side atoms you have. You have to arrange according to the Lewis symbol. I told you symbol electron, how to arrange that. Maximum apart, right? From each there is no interaction between electron. Now suppose 3 atoms we have, so you arrange 3 atoms in this way in a triangle manner. Okay, the angle will be here 90 degree. Okay, so when you arrange these 3 in a skeleton, then after that you put the bonds. And you remember that if you if you put 1 bond, it means 2 electrons. So total you 3 bonds you added, and total how many electrons? 6 electrons you distributed. But total electrons were 8 electrons, right? Total electron we have 8 electrons. And now after you put 6 electrons around the central atom, 2 electrons left. These 2 electrons you put on the central atom. Remember that. Then after that, the fourth point is to count the octet of the central atom first and the side atom also first. First you side atom counted. Okay, now 8 electron is complete. This okay. Then you count the central atom. If 8 electron is complete, it means your Lewis structure is correct. If 8 electrons are not complete, that means the Lewis structure is wrong. Then we will use another method to make a structure. That I will explain in next class if the Lewis structure is not correct. Okay. All right. Any question now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The reason that we cannot put hydrogen in the center is because
Always.
it shouldn't be octet, right?
Yes. Always. You never put. Never put.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, guys. Any question now? But my time is finished because I have another class.
Teacher, I have a question.
No question?
Question actually.
Okay, please tell me now.
It's not about the. Actually, it's about the quiz.
Quiz? Which quiz?
The quiz 2.
What is your question?
The chapters that will be in the quiz. Just want to ask about.
Did you go through your syllabus?
Actually, I didn't know how to find it.
It's better to drop this semester, please. Drop this semester. No, you cannot do this. If you don't understand how you will find the syllabus,
No, I know, but
I
forget now.
No, don't say forget. The syllabus always giving in the first week of the semester, and is still there on the blackboard. You guys never go through the syllabus, and you are coming to attend the class.
It says 40, chapter 40.
You guys, wallahi, give me hard time.